8 daily habits of highly successful women. I have implemented these habits after years of studying self-improvement and what the 1% do. And I can say that I see success in my own life and I see the results with each and every one of these habits, and you couldn't pay me to stop any of them. Now, when I talk about success and successful women, some of you may think love, some of you may think career, some of you may think income, maybe some of you think happiness. But when I'm talking about success, I'm not saying it matters how much income you make or what your career is. It's about being a person, being a woman who sets an objective and is able to reach it and fulfill whatever success means for you. Welcome back to the Creation of Her, the side of the internet where I teach you how to close the gap between who you are now and the woman that you were always meant to be. If that sounds like your vibe, you love self-improvement, glow-ups, mindset, feminine energy, productivity, and all of the above, I come out with episodes every single week. So if you're watching on YouTube, definitely subscribe. I'll wait. Or it's also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, so you can follow on there. Let's get into the daily habits that all successful women tend to have in common and that you can start today. Number 1 is they plan their days like CEOs. Time is the ultimate currency. We know that. They tell us since we're younger, time is money, etc., etc. Time is the currency of success. Time is all that you have, and successful women know that. So you best believe that they are capitalizing on their time and using it as efficiently as possible. How do they do this? Plan your week on Sunday and every day at night. But planning is one thing. The kicker is actually following through with it. For anybody, this should be a non-negotiable. If you have goals, if you have objectives, you should be planning out your whole week view every Saturday, Sunday, whenever that is for you. And then every single day before bed, you should be reviewing what you have to do the next day and planning your day the night before. And then when the day of comes, actually following through with it and treating everything that you planned as an appointment with yourself. And also note that having a full calendar isn't the vibe either if it's majority fluff. It's one thing to be busy and another to be intentional with your time. There should be enough time for strategic rest to avoid burnout, and whatever you are doing with your time, it better not be fluff or busy work that somebody else can do or that doesn't even need to get done at all. Delegate where you can, take out what's unnecessary, and use your productive time for things that actually move the needle and are directly tied to your goals. And people say this for a reason, but failing to plan is planning to fail. Your time is everything, so make sure that you know what you're doing ahead of time with your time. Number 2 is weekly goals and audits. Successful women, obviously, they set goals for themselves because how else are they going to gauge whether or not they are successful besides overall feelings of joy and happiness, of course. But after setting their weekly goals, they audit whether or not they reached their goals, what held them back, and what actually worked. I do this and I preach it all the time, and it is having a Sunday meeting with yourself or a Sunday audit. Now, I maybe am a bit much, but this is also my niche, so I love this stuff. I do daily audits, but I do Sunday audits, and I also do monthly audits. However, let's say I go out on a Friday, on a Saturday, I'm not coming home after I already drank, or I'm coming home late and doing my daily audit. But what I will always do are my Sunday audits. So that can look like a 1-hour Sunday self-meeting where you revisit your annual goals, you revisit the goals you set either for the month or the week, you reprioritize, and you block time in your calendar for what matters. Any task that you're planning in, you have to ask, does this align with my long-term vision? And when looking back on the week, you always ask what worked this week and what didn't, where was I consistent and where wasn't I? And always remind yourself, if you weren't able to follow through with something, if you weren't able to keep a certain habit, you are not the broken one. Do not beat yourself up, because that's actually going to push you back more, and successful women don't do that. You say, I'm not broken, but my strategy is. You don't have to change the goal. You have to pivot and change the strategy so that you can actually carry out whatever needs to be carried out. That is what your audits are for. Number 3 is habit stacking. Again, time is money, money is time, and you don't want to overload your days with a bunch of things when you can be doing things a lot faster. So habit stacking is an amazing hack if you don't already do it, and that is stacking something that already exists in your day, like a ritual or an activity that already exists, and combining that with another activity that is value adding. So that can look like, for example, if you already brew coffee in the morning, for the 2 minutes that your coffee is brewing, you do some breath work for 2 minutes. That would be an example of habit stacking. Or me, one of my most important non non-negotiable habits are my steps. So for example, when I'm done filming this, I'm going to go on my treadmill desk and I'm going to do my steps while I'm working on my computer and editing and sending this podcast to my editor, writing up all the notes and whatnot. I'm already going to walk, so I'm going to work while I'm doing that. I'm habit stacking something that already exists and I'm cutting my productivity time in half so I have more time for life. Or let's say someone's a content creator. They go on IG Live or on TikTok Live while they're doing their makeup because it's something that they were already going to do. Or another thing that is really important to me and is important for my success is social time. So every morning in the morning, I go to the gym with my friend, and that's new like for me since this past like month or 2 months, but it's been amazing because I fulfill my social cup while I'm doing something I was already going to do in the morning, like going to the gym. Number 4 is moving your body daily. Have you ever noticed that the more you move, the more energy you have, and the less you move, the more sluggish you feel? Because that's just how it works. On top of having just better energy, better mental clarity, better health when you move your body every day as a habit, and kind of seeing daily movement as brushing your teeth, like it's just something you do, it's just a form of hygiene, it's not like a chore, that will result in better performance and overall energy. But especially if it's something that you start your day with, or honestly just do at any time of the day, you're building that like willpower inside of you to do something hard, and it becomes easier to not procrastinate, to say no to something that doesn't align, to have your boundaries, because you're building that doing something hard muscle in your body, in your brain. Plus, then when you look good, you feel good, you do better, you perform better, it all kind of tumbleweeds. Successful women, they schedule their workouts in, they have it as part of their routine, and if it's something they struggle with, they hire a coach, they hire a trainer, they find a way to get it done, and maybe that's even going to classes with their friends. Whatever the case is, they're gonna get it done. Number 5 is successful women ask for what they want. I don't know why some women tend to under-negotiate, undermine themselves, be shy with things that they desire. If God put a desire in your heart, it's because you're meant to have it. So don't you dare be shy with it or deny yourself of it. Successful women have a sense of entitlement to what they want, and they're not going to take no for an answer. Likewise, they understand the concept of closed mouths don't get fed. I will never forget this one time. This happened years ago. I was probably like 13, and I was a lot more shy, especially as a kid. And I had like some cousins that are very, very outgoing. And I remember we were in this like luxury building. I think it was theirs. We were in this building in Miami, and we were coming out of like the amenities area, and we were passing by this kiosk by the gym, and they had like a bunch of water bottles, like nice water bottles, like the reusable kinds. And me personally, I would have never even thought that that was like, I don't know, it looked like kind of bottles that you had to purchase. But I remember my cousin stopping in the tracks and being like, are those for free? And at that time I had just learned the saying, closed mouths don't get fed. And the guy at the kiosk was like, yeah, actually these are free, and gave him one. And it was such a simple thing, but it stuck with me for the rest of my life, because I remember thinking, oh, those water bottles, like I'd have to buy it. But there were some nice water bottles and I would have wanted one too. But he was just like, hey, let me just ask. Like, what's the worst they can say? No, it's not free, you have to pay. And just because he stopped and he asked, he was able to get that free thing. He was able to get that opportunity. What you don't ask, you don't get. Ask for what you want. Introduce yourself to someone. Make a bunch of sales calls no matter who says no, because you're going to get your yes. And if you don't ask, you are 100% getting a no by not asking, versus if you ask, it could be 50-50. And along those lines, like in terms of just asking God, asking for the universe, successful women are confident in asking whatever higher source they believe in for their desires, for guidance, for the wisdom to achieve it. Because a big downfall for women who play themselves too small is waiting for permission to get what they want. When if you really think about it, the only person that you're waiting for permission from is yourself. Only you, okay? Hear me when I say this. Only you can give yourself permission to go after what you want. Only you give yourself the green light. If you want to be a successful woman in whatever case that means for you, let that sink in now. Number 6 is successful women have multiple income streams. I don't think I need to elaborate on this that much. We already know that people who are successful, especially monetarily, have more than one income. It is very, very rare that 9-to-5 is going to make you a millionaire. Successful women are earning from different sources. They have abundance mindsets. They start small and they build up from there. Majority of them are not overnight successes. They actually put in the time, the work, and the strategy to build up multiple income sources over time, with an emphasis on getting to a point where a lot of their income is passive income, so that they can spend more time in life and less trading their hours for money. Number 7 is building self-trust via consistency or daily follow-through. Confidence comes self-trust, and self-trust comes from keeping the promises that you make to yourself. Every kept promise, whether that's the gym, sending an email, or doing a task that you said you would do, is evidence that that you can trust yourself, that you can trust that you will do what you say you're going to do. And that is what makes you successful, unstoppable, and extremely wildly confident. As a successful women, they do not rely on motivation. They know it is a scam. Motivation is real and it comes and goes. But that's the thing. It comes and it goes. Instead of relying on motivation, they rely on systems and follow through. Confidence is just evidence of kept promises. You build your confidence brick by brick through every promise that you keep to yourself. And in order to build that brick wall of confidence, you're going to want to start small. Start with the small promises, build up the confidence, and work up to the bigger promises and carry them out every single day. An easy way you can do this is pick 2 to 3 non-negotiables like working out, skincare, journaling, and keep them daily. It'll do wonders for your success and for your confidence. And that's when you stop outsourcing validation because you trust you and you're your own rock. And my favorite way to visually prove this consistency is habit trackers. They're so simple, but they work. I actually have habit tracker PDFs in my course where I teach you how to find your purpose step by step and guide you into having daily rhythms, routines, mindset shifts, etc. so that you can live in alignment with that purpose every single day. There's a community on there that I'm a part of and I get to talk to you. Plus you get to talk to a bunch of other women and people who are in the same exact boat. And then of course you get everything else like all the PDFs, the documents, the templates, etc. One of those being a habit tracker. And lastly, number 8, before I get into the things that you can start today, successful women choose progress over perfection. Perfectionism is just procrastination in disguise. If anything, aim for 80% done over 100% done. Just do it badly and you can fix it later. Point is that you do the first step over getting something perfect or doing a little bit of something every single day to build that consistency, even if you can't get the full amount done. For example, if your workout is usually an hour, but today you only have 15 minutes, you work out only for 15 minutes for the sake of showing up for yourself because you promised yourself. It's about progress, not perfection. So let me give you a little quick implementation checklist, some things that you can start today, this week. Every Sunday, have an audit, a 60-minute time slot, a date with yourself, romanticize it, get some tea, get some coffee, some matcha, some music, some candles. You're going to review your goals. You're going to ask yourself what worked this week and what didn't. And you're going to do your general weekly plan with your calendar blocks, etc. On weeknights, take 10 minutes before bed to plan your next day. Choose one habit stack that you can do. Think of a habit or a ritual that is already in your life, whether that's brushing your teeth, making your coffee, doing your steps, or doing your hot girl walk, or whatever the case, and habit stack that with something else that you want to get done. Set your 3 priorities every single day. Not a whole long to-do list that will put you in functional freeze, just 3 priorities that will actually move the needle. Choose one task in your life to either delegate or automate. That basically means choose one task that you can either have someone else do or have like a tool do for you, like email blasts or something. Or if you can't think of one, then you can automate something. Like instead of cooking 3 meals every day, you meal plan or prep. Or instead of choosing your outfits every single day, you choose your outfits ahead of time on Sundays. And lastly, create a habit or goal tracker if you don't have one already. This is where you have daily commitments, just a few that you can tick off and help you build self-trust. If you liked this week's episode, definitely make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and share it with someone who you think might benefit from it. Aligned and Alive, my course, is officially out and I'm so excited for everyone who's already started. It's going to be an amazing journey for those of you who are looking to find your purpose and finally start waking up feeling fulfilled every single day. I also offer one-to-one coaching, so that's also available for you, and all of those links are down in the description box or the show notes. And that's all. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye!